Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Fitogen11 and welcome to some Pokemon Showdown battling. This is a pretty great OU match that I had with Andre the Giant, apparently a fellow WWE fan. This was in an OU tournament that I was in yesterday, just for fun. The tournaments on Showdown are probably the most fun that I've had on Showdown. It's a little more intense, and the moves are a little uh, more stressful, I guess. But this was in like the second round of an OU tournament. I don't play too much OU, so this is probably the best OU match that I've had in a long, long time. And I was kind of surprised to see a Mega Beedrill. Haven't really seen that in OU. The Scarf Hydreigon's probably the biggest threat on his team. I'm not too scared of the Starmie. The Zapdos can be pretty stally, I guess. But that core of specially defensive Rotom Wash and physically defensive Ferrothorn can be pretty scary, so we'll have to watch out for that. I've got my Mega Altaria, which I've tried out. I don't know if I like it too much. It's a Dragon Dancing one, especially defensive Rotom, Staraptor, Choice Banded, and then the Anti-Lead Infernape, the defensive Gliscor, and Choice Scarfed Tricking Porygon Z. So I'm going to start out with Infernape like I normally do. He actually starts out with Beedrill, which is kind of surprising to me. So he has to Protect and Mega Evolve because he doesn't outspeed before the Mega Evolution. So I have a free chance to set up my Stealth Rocks. It works out pretty well for me. Now I don't know what he's going to do next. He could Poison Jab, try to take me down to my Sash and poison me. He actually goes out for the U-turn. This is probably my biggest mistake in the match. I go for Overheat. Probably should have gone for U-turn or Close Combat and predict the U-turn, but we get a little bit of chip damage on his Choice Scarf Hydreigon. I obviously know now that it is Scarved. He wouldn't bring it in this thing otherwise. So I have to go out into Rotom and take either a Draco or a Dark Pulse. He opts to go for Draco, and he can't two-shot me after the special attack drop. So I'm free to go for a Pain Split. He makes the smart move and goes into Rotom Wash, which will take a Pain Split, but it won't take it too badly since Rotoms have notoriously poor HP. So I'm just going to Volt Switch. He can also Volt Switch and hope he goes second. He can Will-O-Wisp, I guess. He can Pain Split. There's a lot of different options here. I believe he opts to go for the Will-O-Wisp as I go out into Porygon Z. I do want to trick something. I probably could have kept the Scarf actually, but he goes for the Willow, he misses. I opt to go for the Trick. I thought he'd switch out, but I believe he goes for Pain Split now. And so he has a Choice Scarf, and I think he's now locked into Pain Split. Yes. So now I know he can just go for Pain Split over and over and over, which is kind of an issue for me. He kind of is willing to sack off the Rotom to kill something else, as he just stays in and goes for Pain Split. I don't know if this is the best strategy ever. Choice Scarf Rotom can still do work with Volt Switch and Hydro Pump and stuff, but he's just gonna kind of sack it off as I think I go for a Willow. Okay. And I'm just waiting for Lefty's recovery. I'm going to try to end up with as much HP as I possibly can, but I'm pretty much going to try and stay in and whittle this thing down. I can't really do too much with Hydro Pump, so I'm kind of forced to go in Volt Switch, but I'm okay with Porygon having the least HP on the team. I don't really mind him, and I don't mind Infernape being low on HP. We actually outspeed. I thought we'd be slower, but our Focus Sash is broken, so it doesn't really matter how much HP we have for Infernape. So that was kind of my thinking. I guess he could take me out with a Poison Jab from his Beedrill, and he does. I thought he'd just U-turn out again, try to trick me, but with that defense drop, the Poison Jab is definitely going to take us out. So, I don't know, I misplayed my Infernape pretty much that whole match. It definitely would have been nice to have him for the Ferrothorn, but like I said, with the Hydreigon it really wouldn't have helped, and I think Starmie might outspeed. I'm not sure about that, but he can't do anything to my Gliscor. I thought he'd try to knock me off, that's why I went for Protect first turn, make sure I got my Toxic Orb off. As he goes out into Zapdos, which can just become a stall battle, I do want to get its lefties off, so I knock that off. I know he has HP Ice, so I do have to kind of work around that. I do switch out, but Zapdos is going to be kind of an issue throughout the battle with Roost and just a kind of a stall tactic. It's not stalling, but it's a defensive tactic. I don't know. I run offensive Zapdos more than a defensive one, but I'm guessing the defensive one is probably the better option for an OU team. So he has 3 bulky Pokemon really, but I can't take another Thunderbolt, and I do think I can still Pain Split on some Pokemon, probably Ferrothorn. And I can just play this baiting game with him, where I switch into Gliscor to take Thunderbolts, and then switch into Rotom to take HP Ices. So I believe he roosts some, I predict. Oh no, he actually goes for HP Ice, okay. So obviously I know he has it. He wouldn't have switched in beforehand on Gliscor. So I just kind of have to play the baiting game and try to outpredict him. It's not my favorite thing to do, but it's kind of something we have to do. I think I predict him to go for HP Ice here. Yeah, so I didn't switch back into Gliscor, so I'm going to be able to get off Pain Split, and that gets my Rotom Wash back in the game. Not how that was a really risky way of getting HP back on Rotom, but it worked out, so I was pretty happy with it. He can just keep going for Roost, because I can't two-shot him. So, I mean, over time, Zapdos is obviously going to go down. It's on borrowed time at this point. I will be able to take it out, but it's just a matter of time. He just wants to get some damage off, as I do. I think I can live one more Thunderbolt after the lefty's recovery. I think Thunderbolt was doing like 43%. So he's just going to go for another Thunderbolt. I do live it, and I'm able to take the Zapdos down. Luckily, I hit 2 out of my 3 Hydro Pumps. Unfortunately, Rotom Wash is probably going to go down very soon. I can't take a hit from my Dragon, so with any other Pokemon. He actually opts to go into Starmie. I can't switch out fearing the Ice Beam. He goes for the Psy Shock. I mean, Gliscor could have taken that, but then I would have been up a creek. I really thought he probably should have gone for Ice Beam, because 3 of my Pokemon are weak to it. But maybe he didn't think it would kill Rotom, I'm not sure. He's going to opt to finally get the Rapid Spin off as I go for the Dark Pulse and kill. So if I was Choice Scarfed, probably would have worked out better for me. He able to keep the rocks up. So now it's 3-on-3. I'm not too comfortable with this, since Ferrothorn's going to be tough to take out. It's actually 4-on-3, excuse me. I don't know really what to do to Ferrothorn. I'm going to try to knock it off first, and then close combat it with Staraptor. That was my plan. As he opts to go for his Stealth Rocks, just kind of trying to stop my switches. Now, he's actually going to set up more layers of stuff. Sets up his first layer Spikes. I think that's all he gets in the match. I'm going to take this opportunity to switch in Staraptor. He probably should have attacked on this. Oh, I switched in Altaria, okay. I don't know if I like that idea. It was a mistake by me, probably. But he goes out into Hydreigon, which actually worked out well for me, surprisingly. But because he has to switch out, he can't hit me with a Draco after I Mega Evolve. Goes back out into Altaria. I didn't know if I should Dragon Dance, go for Return or Earthquake. And then this is a huge mistake that I make. I Roost. I didn't expect a Gyro Ball to kill, and it does. So, I don't know. Altaria is really not doing it for me. I thought it could live that. Especially, I didn't Dragon Dance or anything, so I don't know. I have to go out into Staraptor in close combat. There's no real other option. He can't switch into Beedrill or Hydreigon, so he just has to let this thing die. So, I'm looking okay. I still don't know what I'm going to do with that Beedrill, and I can't really switch as much anymore. So I'm going to have trouble finishing this game off. I have to go out into Gliscor here against Beedrill, and I actually go out into Porygon to sack it off. Excuse me. I wasn't really comfortable with Gliscor taking anything, and Porygon wasn't going to be able to do anything to either of the last Pokemon. Hydreigon would outscarf it, and Beedrill could just kill it with a poison jab, so I didn't really have too much of an option there. I have to go into Staraptor, try to get the Intimidate off, and then stall out with Gliscor. That was my thinking. Might have been wrong, but Staraptor couldn't take a hit from anything either, so I probably should have gone out into Staraptor, switched out into Porygon, then went back into Staraptor. But either way, all my Pokemon would have died, so I predict the Toxic on Beedrill's U-turn. Pretty obvious he wasn't going to stay in. I could just EQ and kill him. So he has to hit me with a special move. He's going to opt to go for Dark Pulse. That's fine with me. I think I can live one. And he's going to just keep going for Dark Pulse, as I believe I go for Knockoff. Yeah, so I get a little bit of chip damage. After this Toxic turn and a Protect, I know that he'll die. He can opt to switch out, I suppose, but he knows I'm protecting. That's an obvious move. But I go for it anyway, because I can just protect again and get even more HP. So I'm getting 25% HP after one more protect. And Beedrill can't do that much to me, just about, 25-30%. So he goes for the Poison Jab, that's fine. I'm going to go for the EQ, and I know it can take out a Beedrill. So he takes me down, 20 damage as I take out the Beedrill, and we're down to one-on-one battle. Now, Hydreigon is at 13% with Toxic, so he can have one turn of Poison. I basically have to double Protect. That's my only chance. He has to go for Draco, and that's his only chance. So I'm protecting, that's obvious. We both knew that was going to happen. He goes for the Draco. I basically have to get a double Protect off. I can't outspeed. If Draco misses, that's great, but that's a 90% chance. I can't rely on that. And the Protect fails, and he kills me. He would have died next turn. So that was a really good, really good OU match. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.